Good morning, YouTube. It is Sunday, January 31st, 2021. Yeah, month into the year already. And we're coming at you from F-150 Studios, located in beautiful Starbucks, California. Uh, Chuck Schumer. I wanted to talk about Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer is probably the most reprehensible and evil member of the Gang of 535 in DC. He That's saying something. But his latest is that he wants 46 asterisk, the lame duck incoming president, to declare a state of emergency due to climate change. Now, climate change is an interesting subject. It is highly politicized. Uh, You'll hear things like, oh, the science is settled. That's what Alexandria Ocasio Cortez says. The science is settled. Obviously, she didn't study science. Science never is settled. Science is a process of constant questioning, re examination, reevaluation, acting on new information. At one point, illness was caused by an imbalance in the humors, and you regulated that by bleeding and leaching and shooting people up full of mercury and everything. That was science. So we would still be doing that if science weren't subject to constant reevaluation. So consider that point when somebody tells you the science is settled about climate change, because we're talking about people predicting something happening decades in the future, and you can't get a good weather report for next week. Yes, I understand there's a difference between weather and climate, but the bottom line is if I can't get a report on what the climate, which is what weather is doing next week, uh, how do I know what it's going to do 20 years in the future? So, but regardless of whether or not you accept that, Chuck Schumer's attitude is interesting. He is most overtly, and many of the climate change types are in the same boat. Look at the World Economic Forum and their proposals. Now they've reiterated it after claiming it was conspiracy theory after posting it on their own website in the first place. Their Great Reset agenda. Um, the A lot of the climate change types are using this alarmism to push for greater government control, surrender of national sovereignty, particularly countries with high levels of individual liberty like the United States, which we still cling to despite actually centuries of attempting to undo it. The American Revolution started trying to undo itself almost the moment it was finished. But Chuck Schumer wants 46 asterisk to declare a state of emergency. Now, that would mean a suspension of civil liberties in the country, great authority vested in the executive branch to do things that they otherwise would not be able to do. And since climate change is a fact of climate, the Earth's climate changed long before human beings ever crawled out of caves. Uh, that really means a permanent state of emergency, a permanent loss of civil liberties, a permanent arrogation of power in the hands of the government, which right now is in the hands of the Democrats. So be very wary when somebody comes to you with these sort of proposals. They do not mean you any good. These are strictly power grabs. This is associated with the left, but that is because the left is entirely about power. To them, power is self-justifying. Stacks of corpses to the heavens, as we saw during the Bolshevik Revolution, during Stalin, during Mao, during Pol Pot, during Castro's Cuba, during Chavez's Venezuela. All of these things are these are features, not bugs. Their ability to make your life miserable is power. If they cannot make their lives better, and they can't because they're at the top, then their power comes from making you suffer, making you say things you know not to be true, making you, as Biden's executive order for college sports says, making you pretend that men are women. So people love driving the wrong way down here. It's amazing we don't have more accidents. But that's really what is going on. So I'm going to head out. YouTube may give this a strike for denying climate or something. I don't know. I'm headed out. I've got to study. I'm going to be taking my amateur radio exams. I say exams plural because I'm taking all three levels at once. I'm going to be taking those in about a month. It's something that's always interested me, and with the increasing movement to big tech censorship, I think having alternative means of communications are going to be very, very important to us in the future. Everyone, take care. Have a good day.